Nina. I've done a very quick snapshot business reading for you, as we discussed. And it's very exciting. I like this very much. So one of the first questions I asked to get into your energy, to be a medium, to understand what's going on, is how does Nina need to change to be more aligned, satisfied with her business and her projects? So funnily enough, the first thing that came into my mind immediately was this song, which I've just got on ready here. And it is Fleetwood Mac, Seven Wonders of the World. Now, I've listened to the lyrics, but it may mean something different to you, and I can explain. So it's talking about if I live to see the seven wonders and get to the rainbow's end. So that means a lot to me when it talks about, you know, where am I going? What am I doing? What am I celebrating? Rainbow's end, funnily enough, is part of your journey's end, the soul journey's end, when you come to ceremony and you can look back and you can see everything that you've done. So that's a lot to do with that rainbow dragon who's called ceremony. I didn't know that the dragons would necessarily come through in that way, but they have. So asking the question again, how can Nina change to be more aligned, more satisfied with her business and projects and know what's going on? And I get very much your focus. Your focus is kind of a little bit where you are in doubt. So there's a fluctuation between one vision and there's a fluctuation between another vision. So the outcome isn't necessarily clear and the purpose is rather hazy. Now in the second part, I actually understood completely why, which is just phenomenal. So one thing in your mind that I'm picking up is like, oh God, I'm to go through this reconstruction, this construction all over again. The energy that it takes, can I do it again? I've done it once. Do I have to do all of this again? Perhaps there's a different way that I haven't even seen yet. So what I get here is an awful lot of fluctuations. You get it and then you lose it and you understand exactly why you've taken on this new project and then you're like, really, why am I doing that? So I really feel that kind of fluctuation in you, not only like, what am I going to use it for? What's it going to be for? Why is it here? Why did I do that? Oh, I have a really good vision. This would really, really be interesting. I'd love to do that. And then it seems to disappear the next few days. You can't seem to see it, smell it, or taste it. You can't seem to grab hold of it. There's nothing really very structured or firm that you can plan yourself around. That's what's coming. Yes, so why have I done this? So you've gone from, I can manage my life, I know where I am, I know what's happening, I know who's who and how everything works. And all of a sudden you've been thrown in to start from scratch all over again. You've got a lot of responsibility on your shoulders. You're being in charge and there's a question mark and there's a question mark and there's a question mark. Now we come on to the second question that I asked. And this, the second question is always, what does the spirit of your business want to say to you? So I allow this to come through. So I just talk and then the spirit of the business comes through and it starts feeding me the information. Also makes me burp when the energy starts moving. So I feel you melting away. I feel you, your purpose, your passion, your planning, everything that you've done in the way the things that you've done before, there's just no effort. It does all kind of change. And the way I see you, everything seems to work out really well anyway. But it's almost coming through like, I've got this, it's okay. And then I got a huge, huge sign that says the welcome in. So it's not like one of those big hotels like the Holiday Inn or the Welcome Inn, but that's with a sign, that's the kind of sign that I saw. Because this is the feeling that people get in this place. Let me explain a little bit more. So you've seen an artisan centre, you've seen more retreats, you've seen more B&Bs, you've had the questions in, cover my costs, will I be self-sufficient? And the building is saying, the project is saying, I can cover my own costs. I can be self-sufficient. I can be whatever you want me to be. So the thing that's coming up then is like, well, what's the goal? What is the what's the opportunity that you saw? You knew you could make something special. Now that is the intuition, that's the insight, that's the inspiration that came from the divine for you, for the spirit of your business. And I'm getting here, it matters not what you create, it's the feeling that you have at the end of the day. It's the feeling, and it's almost like walking into a vortex. And it's the vortex and the feeling that I get is like, welcome, or welcome. So the energy of this particular project is very different to the energy of the previous project that you've done. And it will evolve into what it needs to be, feeding you ideas, feeding you the people, and feeding you the opportunities. So it's not all on your shoulders, it's not all coming from your head. So the other centre, because I dipped into that one as well, it's about a centre of learning, it's a centre of coping, it's a centre of do this, do that, these are the changes that you need to make to evolve. There's another word there that I can't read. Oh, teaching. So it's a teaching centre, it's a learning centre. Now this other centre project that you've decided to start, it's more spirit-led. It is highly intelligent, highly intuitive, and it exists to evolve the inhabitants. So whoever comes, it exists to evolve them into their highest potential. Now that might just be a very spiritual way of looking, like stop all the doing and just start experiencing life. So whatever it is as the experience for the person who comes into that space, that's what it's there for. That's the welcome. Welcome back to who you really are. Welcome back to what you came here for. I will go through all of this with you afterwards, so you can ask questions and you can just tell me what your interpretation of that is. So it's not educational, but it is about the self. It is the experience of the life that you're here to live. It's time to close all the books, close all the how-tos of someone else telling you how to, close all the rules of food, of yoga, who said what to who and how to do things and do this and then you do that, all the steps. This place will challenge you and it will challenge everyone else who comes into it to just become who you really, really are. This is why it's confusing, and this is why it's making you slightly anxious, because you are stepping into the unknown. There needs to be more places like this where people are stepping into the unknown and they're not waiting for someone else to tell me what to do. They are allowing the experience to come from them, see the signs, see that this is the intuitive guidance, and they're like, that was a sign, that was a guidance, I know what to do with this now. It's a whole different way of operating, a whole different way of living. So you're stepping into the unknown, and then you're creating a centre where people also will step into the unknown and have that experience. They'll feel the result. I can't read my writing there again. So there's not so much that you see something, that you plan it and you make things happen, but you feel your way forward. You feel the result. Does that make sense? You feel the welcome of how it's going to be at the end. You keep that as your outcome. You focus purely. Remember, we had to go back to the focus. We focus purely on the outcome that you want to create. Then it's there to create. It's an experience. Therefore, welcome to the new you, your new identity. As in your clients, your visitors, the passers-by, there's a shift that happens in this particular place. All right, so it's all rather, I am feeling that. It's all rather unexpected, whereas humans want to hold on to something. They want something firm. They want something solid. They want to know where they're going. We all want to see into the crystal ball and know what's going to happen in that relationship with that house. But what if we could just allow ourselves to be led? And this is something that this project is really not just teaching you, but what it's there for. So it's all unexpected. Opportunities can't be trapped, held, or understood. It is the experience, and that is the freedom. That's the freedom that we all seek, but nobody really wants, because I don't want the freedom. I want to know what's going to happen, because we want to try and box it and name it and write about it and make rules about it, because this is the way that we've been taught how to function. So the soul's journey is about trusting the nudges that you get. And this is a massively different way of operating. You do that quite a lot, but you like to be a little bit more organised and have everything a little bit more controlled. At least it feels like that. That's what you like, or that's what you think you like, but you are quite intuitive already. Oh, yeah. All right. Okay, here we go. So if at any time this project is forced to comply and to go in a certain direction, it will naturally pause. It will stop. The evolvement will stop and it will stagnate. It'll feel very confusing, very chaotic, and very challenging. It has a life of its own. It is a highly developed purpose, the evolution of humanity. And the free spirit leads. And again, the track came back in this Fleetwood Mac song, The Seven Wonders of the World, The Journey to the Rainbow's End. Now, let me explain a little bit more about the journey to the rainbow's end. The journey to the rainbow's end, in what I'm getting, is the fact that we all allow this soul's journey, this freedom to let the spirit lead us. So we come through the dragons as I know them. We come through knowing what we want, changing our perspective, allowing in more detail into our focus, allowing ourselves to feel our way forward, understand the nudges, allowing ourselves to really, really embody the spirit of who we are. Then we become really playful and kind of raucous and naughty and rebellious. And then we get to the rainbow, and then we get to the rainbow's edge, like on a cliff edge, and we jump. And we jump without the safety net because we feel so safe and so supported that life has got us, the dragons have got us, our soul has got it, universe has got our back. Then we end up living in utopia. Now, utopia is a dragon that never ever lands on Earth ever again. So let me explain. You come to the rainbow's end. You're able to live and operate in a style that allows you to be guided. By then jumping into the guided world, you allow yourself to feel and notice, and it's almost like you live on the world, but you have a bird's eye view. You really understand, I can see what's going on here. I know what's happening. I'm aware, I'm conscious of what's happening. And you never really come back down into the dramas, being triggered. You always know, right, all I need to do now is just create a new focus, create what it is I want at the end. So that's what that song meant. Thank you very much. As I talked, it came through. So that's really what the seven wonders of the world is, allowing yourself, and ceremony is the seventh dragon. Utopia is the eighth dragon. Oh my God, I'm understanding this so much better now for your reading. So the seven wonders of the world, you get to the rainbow's end, you get to the cliff edge, and you just go, I'm willing to be guided. I'm willing to live in this particular way. What happens then is you will then be lifted to the next portal where you are operating as a guided being. So you're feeling your way forwards. After that, there is the no ego, no agenda. That is another huge change that we need to operate in a different way. But as you go through all of this, being able to understand how you operate as a soul, you go into trusting and living the guided life. So hopefully that is making sense to you. I've been on here for about 15 minutes. I will talk to you in depth about this, probably not this weekend, but after. I will put this on YouTube as unlisted so that you can listen into it and dive into it at any time, especially if things get chaotic, confusing and challenging about this project that you have been inspired to take on. And I'm there for you at any time to re-explain and remind you, because the human resists and the human wants to forget and the human doesn't want to do this. but this is definitely the soul's journey.